What are you doing? What are you doing? Can you put it down? Thank you. I want to talk for a couple minutes about my father-in-law, or my supposed to be future father-in-law, John Kerecz, who, as a lot of you probably know, passed away on May 16th. I didn't give a eulogy at his funeral because it wasn't really my place to, but I have done, a lot of thinking about my relationship, or, I didn't really have much of one with him yet, but I just wanted to say a few words about him. I was feeling jealous when my brother-in-law was giving his eulogy, because he knew him for, I guess, over 10 years at that point, and they had all these great memories together. And Justin and I have been together for 4.5 years now. His father lived near Harrisburg, which is about 2 hours away from here. So we just didn't see him all that often, and have a couple, took a trip with him, went out to see him a bunch of times for holidays and things like that. But, no, we don't have this, this wealth of memories with him. I was really nervous when I was first going to meet him, because he had actually just had a stroke. And I was thinking about how he was going to be. I wasn't sure how he was going to be after that, and how that was going to affect my relationship with him. So then I remember we pulled up to his house, and his license plate was spaceman, SPACMAN. And in my line of work, there's an entity called a SPAC, a Special Purpose Acquisition Company. You don't need to know what that is. But I was nervous. I was like, oh, does he work in mergers and acquisitions? I was like, am I gonna have to talk to him about work? And is he gonna be impressed with me? And I was just really scared, because I was like, do I try and talk to him about that right now? I just had no idea what to do. And I don't think I asked Justin about it until we left. I just kind of sat there and let this, weigh on me the whole time. And we were in the car looking at the license plate, and I said, what did your dad do? And he said, oh, he works for the state in environmental protection. And I said, well, what's with SPACman? And he goes, it's not SPACman, it's spaceman. And I learned shortly thereafter that his father had taken a trip fairly recently to Russia, and had gone to the edge of space in a Russian fighter jet, and has pictures of it, like saw the curvature of the earth and everything. It's pretty amazing. And you can tell that really affected his view of the world, and that it was just an incredible experience for him. And so understanding that, that's what his license plate was, I just felt this sense of relief. Here I am worried about all these silly, fuddy-duddy M&A concepts, and, impressing him with that. But this guy's actually way cooler than me and than all of us. What this guy really cared about was supporting people in their adventures and their creative pursuits. He was one of the only people who watched this channel consistently, and it just meant so much to me that he did. He never wanted to talk to me about work. He wanted to talk to me about this. He wanted to talk to me about music, and he wanted to talk to me about the fun things that Justin and I were doing together. The most important thing about him to me was that he supported Justin constantly and unconditionally in his creative pursuits. There's actually a couple times where he would ask me when I was going to quit my job to manage Justin's music career. And the first time I was like, oh, this guy's got a lot of nerve. And I think that is because most of my identity when I met Justin was my job. And then I realized later that, there is more to me than my job, including this, which I probably wouldn't be doing this, at all without Justin and his father's support. But also, it really wasn't about me at all, him saying that. Had nothing to do with his opinion of my career. Nothing else mattered to him except Justin being with someone who was going to support him. And I just thought that was really beautiful. So John, if you're watching this, which that would mean that there's YouTube in heaven, which I don't really know how I feel about that. I just wanted you to know that, I can't quit my job right this second, but hopefully I'll be able to in the future, and I will support Justin in any way I can to get him to that point. And I also just wanted to thank you for your support of me here in my creative pursuits, and wish I'd gotten to tell you that in person. So that's all I got. I want to try and be here more consistently because this whole experience has gotten me thinking more about that. So hopefully I will see you guys next week. Bye.